Hi, welcome to my channel, Gigi's Altered Objects. Today we're going to work on the back cover of the book. I have done some taping already so that it doesn't take too long. So what we have here, we use the red binding tape for these projects, and it really is red because it's a bit stronger. You're also going to want to put a little liquid glue in some key spots. On the spine, I really need to crisscross, and I think you can see that I just have it going down right now. So we'll have to peel those off. I'm going to start with the spine area. So we're going to peel these off. Oh, that did not stay. That's never happened before. That is hilarious. Okay, let's try that again. Maybe I had missed getting that one nice and down with my bone folder. Okay, let's try that again. I'm telling you, anything that can happen will when you have the camera on, right? All right, there we go. We should have put some liquid glue there because that's not looking so sturdy to me. What do you think? You want to make sure that you are putting your adhesive right at the important lines. And so one important line is on the top and bottom of the spine of the book. So you want to have it right near the fold and right on the other side of the fold too. You can't use too much adhesive for this portion of your project. I do like this tape, the red tape, because it does have a great hold, even though that one decided not to stick. That is hilarious. But it holds any material, and I am using actual material this time, right where I want it. And then a little liquid glue we'll put at some crucial points. So the cloth that I'm choosing will look great with the fussy cutting piece that I chose. You want to cut your material about 2 inches larger than your book when it's laid out. And I'll lay it out again to show you what I'm talking about there. I'm not going to give you a stiff measurement because it depends how thick your book winds up. So when I do material, I have it go 2 inches over. When I do a paper cover, I just do it right to the edge. I usually put the paper I want here, and then the same dimension of that much paper on the flip side, and then I like to do a paper that looks like leather for the actual spine. It gives it that old-timey book look, I feel. Okay, we're going to put one more. So we want one right at the edge. There we go. So if you're looking for this red tape, they call it red scoring tape. And it is used for bindings and outside covers. All right, so I'm going to peel these off. Hopefully they'll cooperate real good. Quick and easy, maybe. No, I'm kind of working upside down to you, but it is important to start out real straight. And you'll notice I have the back of the material facing up so that the pretty side will be what we see. Actually, both sides of this material look pretty nice. The other side is shiny and sparkly. I was deciding what kind of beads to put on the spine, and found a necklace that one of my friends, they're always giving me the jewelry that they don't want anymore. I love it. This might be one from Pat, I'm not sure. But then when I saw how sparkly the material was I wanted to use, I decided I would use, instead of those wooden beads, I would use something with some spark to it. All right, so I am going to now not glob it, but right in the corners, right on the edges, a tiny bit in the middle holes, trying not to glop it. You want to smear it so it has a smooth. All right, now we're going to make sure that we have it in the center and that it'll be about 2 inches on the top and the bottom. Okay, that should do it. Oops. And let's do a double check. Nope, not quite. Luckily it's material, so you have a few minutes. This side, I keep getting one side. Maybe I wonder if I have it flipped around. No. Okay, there we go. Okay, and on the back side, we are going to use, this will be on the front, but we're going to use, I showed you, Tim Holtz little belt buckle. So on the back side, I've taken a piece of ribbon that I used inside the book, and it has peacock feathers. I folded it in half. Inside, I have a piece of score tape, and then I have the glue that I like to use on material, the Craft Melody Premium Craft Glue. I like to use that on material. And it didn't stain or anything, and I did that last night so it'd be nice and dry to use today. Then I put it underneath the score tape. Can you see it right here? There we go. And also there is a little of the, oops, a little bit of E6000 as well, okay? So we're gonna take these off.
When officers entered the apartment, they heard a single gunshot and found the suspect lying with a self-inflicted gunshot wound, but he was still alive, and the 2 children were inside okay. We could see them putting the suspect into the ambulance. We're not sure his condition, and this is a homicide case where someone lost their life. But the fortunate news in it all is the children were found safe and sound.
Children have been recovered, and they have been taken to the Child Advocacy Center. They are in good condition.
I just think the baby being carried out, the other baby walked. I see the little legs, but the other baby, the police officer was, calm and cool, and he wasn't crying or anything. He was good.
And you can see there, that is the busted window where we heard those loud bangs. There was also an officer up on the ladder at the time. Now we're told that the children will be taken to a children's advocacy center before they can be linked back up with their relatives. Cleo, back to you.
Chris, quite a scene out there. We're learning that this happened yesterday, but the Amber Alert notice, it only went out this morning. We've got a lot of folks asking, why didn't they get that alert on their phones? I know I didn't. I mean, what do we know about that?
All right, sorry this is taking so long. I think I'll peel the back cover off outside of the camera.
One question
but I'll come back on when I do the folding over on the inner side. For that belt buckle, we can have the material all finished. Okay, but I will demonstrate this for you. So the same thing on both sides. Okay, you want to pull it taut. And I'm not worried about putting E6000 because we're going to put some dabs of E6000 when we fold the material over to the inside of the covers. So just give that a good varnish with your fingers. All right, and I'm going to do the same thing to the other side, and then we will do, I'll come back and we'll do the inside together. I have removed the rest of the tape and smoothed down the front cover. I also have tape around the very edges of the inside. I've also nicked where the spine is on the top and the bottom because there's less room to fold over right there. So we're going to do both the top and the bottom first. So I'm going to pull it tight. And then the top, we're going to do the same thing. I'm not sure if it really matters whether you do as long as you do it the same. Do both the sides or the top and the bottom so that you get your corners nice. A lot of it's going to be covered with your back page anyway, but just for craftsmanship, you want it to be nice. And I think we can wait for the E6000 until we put the paper down. Okay, so right along where this is going to be used as a closure, I'm going to, can you see what I'm doing here? Sorry about that. So where this ribbon is the closure, I'm putting a little cut on each side of it, and then I'm just going to clip that off, but don't throw it away. It's going to go right here. Oops, I didn't take that tape off yet. I did that so that we didn't stick where we didn't want to stick. And you could also see that it's right to the edge. Make sure I got that. Yes, I did. Okay, we're going to put this right here. Okay. We're going to get rid of this little square so that it's not bulgy. And we're going to get rid of this piece, just the top piece. That way when you fold it over, it's not bulky. Okay, and pull that over. Pull this over. And here we are going to put a little E6000. Don't glop it. As I glop it. I didn't even squeeze it, I promise. That was funny. I'll find a baby wipe real quick. While I'm working on a project, I don't know about you guys, but it seems that my workspace can get very messy. Like my projects just explode all over. And I try to do a little cleaning every evening before I go downstairs when I'm done. But one of the best things about finishing a project is that I get to clean my space. So I got to pick all the paper up yesterday and do a beginning clean on my space, and it feels so nice. Okay, so I did take this piece of tape off already, but we still need to take this top piece. Look, on this side it's just this little piece right here. We'll take that off. And then this little piece right here, I'm going to take that off. And then we'll need a tiny dab of E6000 on each side.
Tomorrow night and then into Wednesday, we're going to have about a 90 to 100% coverage across the area. And you definitely notice those colors being a little bit brighter. Tuesday night and Wednesday, we're going to have around maybe some heavy rain, especially from the Dallas-Fort Worth area and off to the east. That's why those locations are likely to have the highest totals. Fort Worth to Dallas and Terrell to Canton over in East Texas, 1 to 3 inches with maybe even 3 to 4 to
Pull that nicely. Put this side nicely. Very good. All right, now to complete the closure, we are going to need, I put a little bit of the gilded wax on the end of the brad as well so that it would match because it was a little darker. So we're going to decide where we want our buckle. And so I think I'm going to put it as far back as my crocodile will let me go. And I want it to be even with the lace. Let's leave that up there. Okay. Double check. Yeah. Poke your hole, and you can use an awl if you don't have a crocodile. Put your brad in there. We're doing this now so that we can cover all this up. But I think we're going to put a piece of tape over that so it doesn't turn about. Maybe one little dot. You know what? The glossy accents comes out a little thinner. Oh, that one's not open yet. All right, we will just use a teeny dab. And then I'm covering the brad with a piece of tape. So we have poked a hole in our book, making sure we're up and down. Put the brad in, hooked our little buckle. And now we'll have to put, well, you can do it two ways. You could just pull it through if you'd like. But I think I want to poke a hole and maybe trim some ribbon. I'm not going to trim it too short. I might not even trim it at all, because when you keep adding to the book, it'll get thicker. So I'm going to put my crocodile in the center of my ribbon. If you used lace, it'd probably go right through and you wouldn't have to poke that hole. Or maybe some burlap. Oh, and you know what else? I was going to put some, okay, I'm going to finish poking these holes, but then I'm going to put a few eyelets in them with my crocodile as well. I've hid my eyelets, but let me find them and we'll be right back. All right, let me do one of these eyelets for you in case you're not familiar with how to do this. So you can see I poked the holes and then I put the eyelets in just to make it look professional and finished. So the eyelets I'm using have a front and a back. So you just take the front piece and poke it in your hole. And then the back is smaller. Put it over the top. Position the inside of your crocodile. Do you see that little nip right here? You're going to put that through the hole. And then give it a squeeze. And your eyelet is set, okay? So I'm also going to do that twice on the binding so that I can affix my chain to it and do some bead work. And I'll do the bead work with you, but off camera I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to poke 2 holes. I'm going to put the eyelets in the holes and then some jump rings in the holes with a chain, and then we'll do the bead work together. So I have put the eyelets in the back of the book. Turn it this way. So I put 2 eyelets, and then the elephant that I colored with the gilded wax, I also added with some E6000. I've added some beads and I have one more to go, but I thought I'd wait and show you how that I do that beadwork to share that with you. But before we do that, we're going to attach the inside covers. So here is the completed closing fixture. I put 3 eyelets here in anticipation of the book becoming bigger once journaling, memorabilia, and photographs are enclosed. And then I put 1 eyelet here where it works presently. I also attach these metal corners that we also use the gilder's wax, I'm sorry. So we will finish the cover in just a second, but first we're going to place, remember, the very inside cover pages are a little larger than the other pages. So these were matted on 6.5 by 6.5. Okay, now that the cover is all done, we can add these pages. And I am going to add a little liquid glue to this because it is on the cover and covers get used, opened and closed. So it's always good whenever there's a part that's going to be moved around a lot to put a little liquid glue. Let me stand up and make sure I get this. I know it's upside down to you, but the whole thing is finished. I don't want to mess it up now. We'll put that right in the middle. Wonderful. Oh, that's so gorgeous. Let me turn it around. And there's the little tags that we did before, the pockets, little tuck place with the elephant. This one has double pockets. All right, and we will do the very back cover. Remember, this one has the jewel-toned 3 pockets. And then we topped them with lace. And only the bottom one was attached on the bottom. The other ones were only attached on the sides. And we'll also add a little liquid glue to this once we get the backing of the tape off. And I'll just do a little crisscross pattern and outline. There we are. Pages all finished. There's also metal corners on the back 4 sides. Turn it over. We will do the beadwork first, and then we will finish the cover. So let me bring my beads in front of you and show you how I do this. One time from Wish, I was playing with decorating hat pins. I like to use them in all different projects. And I saw some people do it online. I thought, oh, let me do this. And so I ordered a whole bunch of different types of hat pins. And I found a great use for these little straight ones. Instead of me having to work with little pieces of wire and cut it, these work perfectly. I start with the side that has the head on it. I use my tool to make a nice little circle. Really, when I'm doing beadwork and wire work, I find just playing with it and figuring out which techniques work best for you. Watch lots of videos. All right, so what I'm trying to do now is I want to pull the head across the pin, and then I'm going to squeeze it together. And you can bet when I'm not on camera, it doesn't take long at all. Oh, there we go. All right, then I'm going to use this pair to squeeze it together and then make sure it's standing upright. And you could just go down the pin. Some of them do come bent, but when you're all finished, it's not going to be bent, and it's not going to make a difference in the movement or the aesthetics of your decoration at all. All right, so on the center one, I took another pin and put the head through the eye and did the same thing, made another loop. So the center one hangs a little longer, but the two on the sides I want shorter, okay? And this one, there's a cute little elephant charm that I found to put on the bottom. All right, so after that, I just play with what looks great, and I kind of have a pattern of silver beads starting on the bottom. So I'm gonna put one of these little bitty silver beads, and then I'm going to put a decorative silver bead, and another tiny silver bead. And then, so it has something in common with the one on the side, I'm going to put the little zebra pin. And which way is it hanging? Let's see, it's going to be like this, okay. And then it has a silver bead on top of it. Let's see, we can do it a little different here maybe. We'll put this flat silver bead. If it doesn't work, I just have to take it off if there's too much. And these bead caps here are a little thick. I think I'll go with the thinner ones because I really want this bead to have bead caps. So on goes a bead cap. On goes a nice decorative bead. Kind of went with a green theme bead. And the reason I did that is because the book has different blues and greens on the cover. Too much blue would just kind of melt in, and I really like it to stand out. So I did that on purpose. But I think the combination looks really nice. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. Take the smallest end of our tool and press and bring around. Then we're going to take our smallest needle nose pair of pliers, grab that end, bring it in, then squeeze it firmly together and bring it up straight. Make sure when you're bringing it up straight, sometimes it wants to open, just squeeze it shut. Okay, I'm going to show you another little trick with your jump rings. I think some people have a tendency to want to open their jump rings by pulling them apart just say, just pull them apart. But that's not the easiest way to get them back together. If you actually do a sideways motion, if you grab them with your tools, your pliers, and go this way, let me do that again. So instead of pulling out as far as you can, go up and down. They go to back very close together and much easier. Okay, so I'm going to put my jump ring. Let me double check. Okay, this is going to be the top. So I'm going to put my jump ring up here. Then I'm going to have to turn the book to fix it to the chain, but then I'll turn it back around and show you how it looks when it's done. So what I did is I made one long one and then two short ones. And you don't have to do a chain. You can do ribbons. Instead of doing ribbons or chain at all, I've seen Graphic 45, and I think Tim Holtz also has like little drawer pulls, but you can put labels inside of them. So those would be very appropriate. I really like the way that turned out. Set it there for a second. Oh, I don't have the new light turned on. Shame on me. That'll brighten things up a bit. There you see it. So we have one long one in the middle and then two shorter ones on the side. All right, so next I'm going to fasten this back up and put it, oh, I guess it'll have to face me so I can see how I want to add the design on the front. We just put the ribbon through the little buckle. And just like a belt buckle, buckle it up. And the corners are quick and easy. Just a tad of E6000, and I'm not going to add hot glue to this because it's just such a dab, it dries rather fast. No worries, and I'm going to leave the book closed. Okay. Remember, those are the ones that we colored with the Gilder's wax. All right, I have some feathers that I'm playing with to put on the book cover. I also have these elephants, and they're a little thicker because I cut them actually from the cover of the 12 by 12 paper, and they look like they really match well with this, so I want to add those. To set it, to complete it, I used something new to me that I got from the Pinners Convention. It's Mod Podge spray, and this is the Ultra. There's a gloss and a matte. I used the gloss on the elephants, and it really worked well. There's no brush marks, no smears. It looks really great. Very pleased with it. I think that's the first time that I've used that on a paper product. I think I've used it on glass before. All right, so and there's also the little elephant that we colored with the Gilder's wax. So I have this cute little pin, a piece of jewelry from a friend, and I was playing with sticking the feathers through the pin. Maybe like this. I have to decide how the elephants are going to fit. I don't want too much of them covered up. So I really think what I'm going to do is glue the elephants first, but I'm going to leave this section undone so that this can slip in and out of there. So by the baby elephant's ear and the mama's elephant's ear, I'm not going to put glue there. So I'm going to glue those down first. Put my hands on the area that I don't want glue. And I'm just putting a little E6000. And I'm also going to get my hot glue gun and put a little hot glue so that it adheres quickly and won't move on us as we add other things to it. So I want it as far over to the edge as possible. I'm going to move this just to be safe. And there we have it. I'm not going to tuck that under there until it's good and dry so I don't accidentally somehow glue it to the book, but that shouldn't happen. I didn't put any glue in the middle or hot glue. I can feel it. It's all on the outside, so that should be just fine. Worst comes to worst, if it is glued down, then we'll just take a butter knife and loosen it up, but it doesn't feel like it's going to be a problem at all. All right, so then we're thinking about and I'm not sure if I want to use that piece there or not. Maybe if I just glue these down and maybe put the blue one on the outside, like that. Then I can put the little elephant right on top. Yeah, I think I like that. I think that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so I'm going to glue these down first. The reason I use both is because this new hot glue gun is actually really wonderful, and I probably won't have any problems at all. But when I do my wreaths, I find going in and out of different weather, if I have both E6000 and hot glue, my bits and parts do not fall off. I always bring a repair kit wherever I'm going, just in case bits and parts fall off, but it's just something you don't want to happen. Okay, so I put a little bit of both hot glue and the 6000. I'm deciding which parts of the feathers that I want to show. So, and these feathers were just a piece of a pick that I pulled apart, and I got that pick from Michael's. I love to go shop when they're on sale, all different seasons, because you never know what you're going to get that you can use as something else. Gigi's Altered Objects. Okay, and let's see. Baby elephant right here at the bottom. Perfect. Close this up. Just save that one for another time. So, here is the finished cover. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you decide to make a book of your own, and of course it's so much fun to switch it up so you have some of your own elements. I'd love to see your projects. If you're having trouble finding all of these projects in order, you can go check out my blog, www.gigisalteredobjects.com, and they're all on my blog along with other projects that I've done. And I'll be sure to include that link in my description page below. I really enjoyed this project. Can't wait to do the next one. I think it'll be a children's, a memory book for babies, perhaps a baby book. All right, so remember to subscribe, give me a thumbs up. Happy crafting.